Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, the 16th of July, 2020. And I'm going to tell you what, talk about research. I've been really putting in the long hours of research into finding out what's going on right now and trying to find out exactly what's going to happen. Uh, I'm going to tell you, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all for August, September, and October in that time frame along in there. Uh, there's a number of things that are happening that are especially within the United States right now. There's estimates of how many people are out of work. Well, there's an army more for each one of those persons that's reported, and they're putting on that list of being out of work. There's more people connected to that. It's much actually the problem, and what I'm saying is the problem is actually much larger than people realize, with a higher percentage of the United States population with no way out of this situation. And the second thing is the United States of America, the general economy, the Main Street economy, has entered into what's called a doom loop. It's a negative vortex of deflation. And what happens is things like stores, they close, and then they had this little reopening when they thought the first wave of the virus was gone, and they thought that they could reopen and stuff, and they tried to reopen, and now they're having to shut down again. An awful lot of these stores, restaurants, bars, hotels, you know how much a percentage of hotels make up, the hotel industry makes up of the American economy? The only part of the American economy right now that's doing anything is medical care. But hotels, restaurants, shops, everything, they just, at this point, with the second wave of the virus moving through and business still staying bad, they just can't stay in operation. And this thing is widening in scope. And as it widens in scope, it widens in deflation. More and more people don't have, and now, when you got the Fed ending these programs and keeping us going up until now, what's going to happen next is almost like a setup for the biggest. I just can't exactly tell you how this will play out, but do I really think that the people are just like, I did a show 2 days ago, and in that show I said about how I pointed out to the people out there listening in my audience how vulnerable you are if you do go in, take that route of social unrest, right? How vulnerable you are because of the kind of system that they've created here. They've created a system that the people are totally dependent upon. Now, see, if you went back to a time like the American Revolution, if there was a revolution ongoing, everybody was a prepper, was a self-sustained, off-grid. There was no power back then. People just went home and they started milking the cow. Oh, the revolution's on today. Okay, I'm going home, milk the cow, make some cheese. It's not like that today. Today, we're totally dependent upon the grocery store. And all of our lives, it's always been full. What do we do if suddenly the grocery store is not full anymore? It's completely empty, bare. And maybe it's even on fire. What do we do if the power goes out? What do we do if the telecommunications grid goes down? All of your cell phones won't even work. You won't even be able to go in and find out what's happening. Widespread areas could go down if we get a situation where the people, and do I really believe that the people, like I pointed out the vulnerabilities in the system and what could happen if all of the people decide to basically lose it. Do I really think that they're going to listen to what I said and they're going to use common sense and everything? No. I think at a certain point, and they've done studies on this. At a certain point, when people get hungry, that's when they really lose it. When they get hungry. And I don't see any way out of this. People are going to be starting to get hungry because there's no checks coming in. They got no job anymore. They got everybody on their back. Everybody's on their back for money. Pay us, pay us, pay us. They probably got a big handful of bills that are going in the house. And I'm going to tell you, half of my audience out there right now is probably listening to my show and saying, hey, gee, that's me. Well, guess what, guys? It's me too. And this is so widespread, it's almost everybody out there. And yeah, I don't like the way that they handled this whole thing. I think that it was just handled in a totally botched way. They were so, when it first started, they were like, we're ready. Oh, we're ready. You know, bragging about how, oh, our hospital system's the best in the world, and we got this, and we got that, and we can do this, and we can do that. Ha! Okay, well, let's get started and take a look at what the markets are doing today. Let's take a look at the silver price today. $19.32, down 12 cents. I'll tell you what, you know what? You haven't seen nothing. You haven't seen nothing in silver and gold. What's going to happen, I think? I'll tell you what I think is going to really happen. I think that a storm's going to break out. I'll call it that way. I almost said a SH whatever storm, but a storm's going to break out in the United States. And here in Canada too, and possibly in a number of countries in Europe. And during this storm, what's going to happen is the governments, you know, the Fed and everything, they're holding pat. I think when this storm hits, when this storm comes, they're going to give in to the will of the people, and they're going to start stimulus again, bigger than before, and they're probably going to go into UBI big time to try to satisfy the people. This is going to kill the dollar. They've already moved in to MP3, which is Monetary Policy 3, which as soon as they did that, that's the death of the dollar. That's the death of the dollar right there. Monetary Policy 3 is the death of the dollar. But they're trying to hold this off as long as they can. It's almost like if a kid got himself a sundae, you know, and he was trying to eat it as slow as he can, make it last as long as he can. That ain't going to work. You know, like they're holding back on the stimulus and stuff. That ain't going to work. They're going to be forced into new rounds, bigger and brighter stimulus than ever before. Then the dollar's really going to start to sink fast at that point. And what's really going to cause the chaos and the destruction of things is what's going to come a few months later after the dollar really starts its downhill slide. You know, it's called hyperinflation, guys. And seriously, it's the biggest disruptor of all, of anything. And once it really gets started, you know, and out of control, there's nothing the central banks can do. They do not have any policy to fight hyperinflation. They got nothing in their tool bag for it. If they try to throw money at it, which has been their answer for everything all along, and you know that's a really, really powerful tool. Printing of money is a really powerful tool. But it's no good on hyperinflation or on inflation, runaway inflation. Because if you print money, you just make it go faster. You know, money is called liquidity. Dollars are called liquidity. And they have the same effect like water putting out a fire. And so it's a great tool. Water's a great tool for firefighters. But it doesn't work on an electrical fire. You don't put water on an electrical fire. Or a grease fire, either. You don't put water on a grease fire. So it doesn't work all the time, and it's the same way in the economy. The liquidity is like water, and it puts out fires in the economy, and that's what they've been doing up until now. But we got an electrical fire coming in the economy, and water ain't going to work on it once it starts. and it's going to run away, and it's going to be more destructive than anything you can imagine. And I'm going to tell you, I was listening to Alistair McLeod last night, and he was talking about gold to infinity. And he was saying how he thinks this whole thing's the dollar's going to be worthless by the end of this year. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen quite that fast. I think by the end of this year, we're going to be in the acceleration phase, but I think it's going to probably take for this whole thing, the hyperinflation, to play itself out to the dollar is worth zero, is probably going to be by the end of 2021 or the end of 2022. It's going to take a little bit longer, I think, than people think, but he's right. He is absolutely right. We are heading toward hyperinflation. And it is going to come a lot faster than most people out there think. This virus is pushing us toward it at an unbelievable rate of speed. This is serious, this stuff that I'm talking to you guys about right now. You need to prepare for it. It's going to be a turbulent time. It's going to be really hard. I'm going to tell you, for some people, it's going to be ridiculous. Maybe here. I don't know. The lights could go out, the power could go off, the telecommunications grid could go down. Are you ready for that? Anyway, let's move on. Hello, folks. I'm back. Let's start the charts right here, and let's take a look. Gold price, 1805. Silver price, 1932. Cryptocurrency Bitcoin's at 91.23 today, and it's down just a little bit, about $100. Dow Jones Industrial Average, we're down 119 points at 26,750. Crude oil, $40.96. It's down 24 cents. U.S. Treasuries, we're looking at yields falling all the way across the board. We're looking at 10-year down 2.5 basis points at 0.60, and the U.S. 30-year is at 1.298, and it's down 3.3 basis points. And the U.S. dollar is broke down into the 95s now. It's 95.92 and dropping. It's off 16 cents. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.